Hi everyone. I have a fun video today. I have a really cool, let me show you, I can't wait to show you what's in here. And I also have a really fun story to go along with this box. So I was out, I had picked up some items that I won at an auction, and I came across this little vintage antique shop that I'd never seen before. So I went inside and I found this box. So let me show you what is inside. So it's just a wooden box. I don't know how old it is. There's no markings on the bottom, but I don't know if y'all can see the top of this. It says Elite Tool Chest for Boys. So I haven't Googled this yet. It says made in the USA. It says number 500. And I think this was the original thing that was on here. And then it has this little metal piece. I think it's probably to help close it back in the day. But so this box, there was all this stuff inside, and the box was open when I saw it on a shelf. And I started looking through the box, and look what is in here. There's these checks and this ledger book. And this ledger, you all, is from 1888 is where it starts. And the handwriting, it's really that pretty old handwriting. Look at that balance right there. Just such a cool, it's not in the best of condition, but I still love it. So the funny story is this ledger wasn't in the box when I started looking through this stuff. And I was picking out things I was going to buy out of the box, and this woman comes over and she's holding this ledger, and she's like, "Oh, are you interested in this also?" And I said, "Yeah." And she showed me this ledger that was in there, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love old ledgers." And we got to talking, and then the salesperson came over, and it was her mother's shop. So the daughter said, "Well, you have to buy all the contents together with the box. She's not selling them separate." And so I'm like, well, you were here first. If you want it, since you want the ledger, that's fine. And she's like, "Oh, I have so many ledgers at home, and I really don't need another ledger." And so she actually passed on the box, which I thought was very sweet of her. And then we just got to talking, and she loves collecting old antique items as well. And that was just so much fun. And I'm going to go through the contents of this box, but you'll have to stick around to the end, because as we were talking, she said, "Oh, I have so much stuff." And she was like, "Oh, I could share some of my stuff with you if you're interested, because I don't know what to do with it." So at the end of this video, I'll have to show you. She put this big envelope together, and I'll have to show you what was inside. Look at her handwriting. Isn't that cool? So we met up for coffee the other day, and she gave me that. And then I made a little journal for her and gave her a little journal because she didn't want any money. But it was such a cool story. So now I have another friend here locally that appreciates all this stuff. So such a fun story, such a cool story. But look at all, there are so many of these checks in here, and I love the images on here. Look at that sweet girl. And there's kind of, I think I figured out a little theme. And then look at this one here. It's this person, and he was opening up a store. So like all these checks and the other items in here, they kind of all relate. I mean, look at this, 1898. So these are the oldest checks that I have come across. And so it's in full of demands for rent to date, beginning the months of October 6th to November 6th. So his rent was $10, and it's for his business, I think, that he had. But there's just so many of these little checks in here. Here's another one from 1897. just all these checks. And then there's other little ephemera documents. Like, look at this one. The First National Bank, 1897, $119.82 to, I think it's Theos Stokes. And then there were these little pictures in here, and I don't know, in this old stamp, 8-cent stamp, I don't know how that got in there. And but these photos, they're mostly of men. Look at that cowboy hat, or I don't know if it's a cowboy hat, but there's nothing on the back. And then here's a couple little kids. So many checks and checks upon checks. So I'm really excited. I'm going to share these with my patrons, and I'll probably put some for sale in my Etsy shop. So if you're looking for old checks like this, they're just so cool. I mean, here's a whole stack of them. And these are blank. So there's some blank checks as well. And more checks. And then here's just some of this I probably will just throw away because it's just kind of falling apart. Like just a little address. Here's another little ephemera piece, like a receipt. And another photo. Here's a little postcard. So this is of the Baptist Church in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I don't know if it's still there. And they wrote a little letter. I don't know if I can see the year on here, but it was a 1-cent stamp. November, but I don't know what year. Some more checks. And then here's a catalog, purchasing coins. Just so many fun things. And then there's some old letters, 1920s, old envelopes, some more receipts. Look at all these checks, you all. And that cute little girl again. So cute. And some are in better condition than others. Some more blank checks. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And then here's like a water ticket, paying their water bill. So many fun things. Some more checks, some more receipts. And look, there's some pink checks. Look at those. Aren't those pretty? And that handwriting. All of these. I'm so excited because I haven't gotten any of these old checks. And then look, here's an old, like an insurance policy, I think. And it was for plate glass windows. So they put I guess this is related to the store. But look at this old policy just for insurance on their plate glass windows. So this is that Theo Stokes, and it's a confectionery store, and it was in Pennsylvania. And that's so cool. Look how official all the documents were. This was 1912. So it's so cool. All this stuff, it was a confectionery store, and I think all these different checks are related to things that they paid for to that store. And here's an old postcard from 1936. So that's probably the timing of that other postcard. But a little good get well postcard. And then here's some more checks. And then here's paying taxes. So these are tax receipts. All these different tax receipts. So cool. And just tons of fun little ephemera pieces. Here's another real estate. Love that blue paper. And then here's a picture of, it looks like a man and a woman. So funny. But they're both in dresses. Unless that's a woman. That must be a woman. Sorry. And then another cool little banknote. The handwriting is just so cool. And here's some other fun different color ephemera pieces. And then look, some pink and yellow checks. And then here's this one, look at that. And then this blue one, so many checks, you all. It's so cool. And then here's just a bunch of envelopes and letters, like more related to the store. Here he had some plumbing done. It's just kind of fun, the whole little history. I like to think about this person starting their own business and getting everything they needed. Here's some more plate glass, insurance, and some more envelopes and more checks. And just some, I mean, look at all this. I mean, it was, and it was a pretty decent price as well. I wouldn't have paid for it if it was too expensive. I always am looking for the bargain. So let me put all this stuff away, and then I'll show you what my new friend Julia shared with me from her stash. All right, I have pulled the contents out of this big envelope, but I thought it was so sweet she put kindly delivered to, and wrapped it up all nice and neat. So I'm sure you can see some of the yumminess in the background here, but I'm going to start with the top. So she had this so fun wrap. She had this wrapped around here, and this is just a, I don't know, it's some sort of engineer's log, because it talks about how many miles they've gone, how much they earned, and then it says conductor engineman. So I'm thinking this is where maybe a train engineer kept track of their hours and what train, like this is 1947, and the date and the train they were on. And what's inside of here, I love that she packaged this in this cool little envelope. Here is a bunch of index cards. I told her I was looking for some more vintage index cards, so that was very cool. And this is the paper that came with it. It's Woolworths, 10 cents. So I thought that was neat. She included that with it. And then there was this fun little bundle here. This is Gerber Furniture Company, just a little piece of ephemera here, a little booklet, and it's just to keep track of what you buy, how much you pay for it. Just fun. You know, we all love these cool little ephemera pieces. And then she has just some fun little sheets in here, almost like small little ledger sheets, kind of car, initial of car, fun. And then she found this pink check, and she thought, ooh, I'm gonna throw that in there because it's such a pretty color. 1914. And I love the big stamp on there. So that was a fun little bundle she included. And then this is really neat, this envelope from 1992. But inside of here, these are really cool. These are index cards, or little index folio folders. And I got each of the birthday month of all of our family members. So I thought that was cool. So I want to do something fun with those. It's cool she put them in here. It was neat, like she didn't even need to package these up so pretty, but she did. And I think that's awesome. And then this next little bundle, I thought this was really neat. This glassine bag. It looks pretty old, but she has all these little tiny tags in here Aren't those so cute? I can't wait to use those. This will be fun. And then just a fun blank tag. And then a whole bunch of just different old papers. Love all the coloring and aging on these papers. And then this one is looks like some sort of English paper, because they're doing the breaking out the sentence diagrams. Do y'all remember doing that in English? You gotta hang the adjectives and the verbs and the participles. So I thought that was kind of fun. So the next thing was this really cool little automobile invoice book of it has these pretty yellow papers. So it's that carbon, but from Flint Motors. So cool to see if they're still in business. And then look at these blank checks. They're just gorgeous. So pretty. And then the best, some ledger papers. So this ledger paper has this tab on there, which is so cool. And these were from the 1930s, which is so cool. And it's an insurance company for the township of, oh my Lord, I don't know how to say that, Shawasi, something like that. Here's one of Venice. So different little townships. So neat. And look at the handwriting on here. So cool. And I guess maybe this is their insurance policy numbers and maybe what they paid for them. So fun. And I love the pink lines and then the blue ink and then these red little markers. You wonder, like, what did that mean? So fun. And then look at these ledger papers. These are 1923, and it looks like a accounts payable, expenses, labor, general expenses, labor, and the handwriting's just so cool. And this it's almost like, I'm sure it's probably blue, but it almost looks purple and pink. Look at that handwriting. Oh my gosh. I'll be hoarding these for a while until I figure out what I want to do with them. Julia, if you're watching, thank you again. These are amazing. And then here's the last ledger papers. They're so cool. The coloring is just so cool. And I think these were, I don't know if there's a year on here. But I love, they must have been using one of those 10 keys to print out a little receipt to maybe check their math. February. So this one's a more recent, oh yeah, 1982. Because the handwriting's not as pretty. That's how you can tell. Why did we lose that pretty handwriting ability? Here's the back. So fun. And then a blank one. So it's so cool. So we're probably gonna get together maybe sometime, have another coffee. Maybe she's made some journals, and so she said maybe she'll get back into doing some journaling. Her craft area is out of commission right now, so she hasn't been doing much. But I was so excited to share this with you all. So fun. I loved meeting someone else in person that appreciates all this stuff like we do. And it's so cool. And I was like, the whole time, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to show this to everybody on my channel. It was it's very exciting. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this haul video, and I will see you all on the next video. Thanks for watching, and thanks again for all your support. Remember to hit the like button and leave a comment. Bye.